Welcome to the Mucked Up My Self-Care podcast.
I'm Jill from New York.
And I'm Linda from Tasmania.
We are two moms from opposite sides of the world who are living, demonstrating, and helping moms across the world build their self-care asset bank.
Ready to dive in? Messy, interrupted, imperfect, and most of all mucked up. Let's get going.
Hello.
Good morning. Good evening. So good to be back with you, even under hard circumstances. You've had a really tricky weekend, Jill, so we're going to go gentle.
Yeah.
And I want to support you the best way I can. And I think part of that is just spending some time together to have this conversation, and welcome everybody who's listening to the Mucked Up My Self-Care podcast. If it is your first time joining us, thank you. And if you are a regular listener, you probably know that we start with highs and lows for our episodes, which is lots of fun because there are many aspects to parenting, not just the positive, but also the reality of negative, but the lower times and the high times as well. So would you like me to start, Jill?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it. So I think I'll start with the low. My low at the moment is just the constant need for getting on top of, like, reminding the boys and the kids, like the older boys especially, of the general household pickup tasks that are required to keep a house functioning. It just feels so constant, like, pick up is this your cup, and who left this here, and well, who are you leaving it for, and just really constant over and over again. And it's tiring. It's really tiring. And then I had my mum give me a backhanded comment as well on how much there's always things on the floor everywhere and blah, 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 and that was not helpful at all. Yep, not helpful. So yes, that it's just, I feel like I talk about that low a lot sometimes. And a high for me, we actually had an opportunity to catch up with one of Quinn's little classmates that he's become quite close with over the last few months, and they're only born 3 days apart. And so we went over to his place this morning for a little play date. And he also has 2 little sisters, which are a little bit younger than Sigrid. So she also had people there to engage with and play with. And it was just nice to get out of the house and meet new people and make new connections and friends and everything else like that. So I think that was definitely the high of the day for me. What about you, Jill?
Oh boy, I feel like it's a lot, but I'll start with the high because that's the fun stuff, right? We had a busy weekend of just doing tons of stuff. Saturday we got to meet up with some friends that we haven't seen in a little while and do brunch, and then I ended up spending the whole day with them because there was nothing else on the calendar. So of course it went, without a nap. So that brought its own challenges of just exhaustion and fun in the sun. And then Sunday we had some fun too. There was a carnival in town. So because we had too much fun and no nap, Declan took a nap at like 6 o'clock at night on Saturday. Which, if you are a parent, you know what a late evening is like. So of course he was up till 11. I was like, I knew he was going to be. So we took advantage of the carnival in town and actually went late to the carnival. So it was like 8:30 at night when we went to the
Oh,
carnival, which
wow.
was
Oh,
perfect because the fireworks were at 9 o'clock, which I didn't
oh,
even put two and two together. So we
oh.
got to see the fireworks. We ended up running into a friend from church whose birthday it was, and her dad is the state assemblyman. So they got to celebrate her birthday there at the carnival. So we got to sing happy birthday for her. Just
Perfect.
completely unplanned. So it was very fun to
Mm,
turn in that messy of a day into just something nice that Declan and I did together.
mm,
Um, which I'm trying to hold on to in the midst of my low, which in the middle of the night, my cat ended up waking up, but she'd had some issues with his eyes over the last year,
mm,
um, which I did not, I don't know where it was going with this, this health. And we had one health scare earlier in the year, and I didn't expect him to take a turn for the worse the other night, and he did. So
mm.
middle of the night, he ended up waking me up because I heard his howl, we'll call it, and then even the dog like woke up out of frantic concern because it was just not a good sound. And overnight, alone with him in the bathroom, he did pass, and um, yeah, it was hard. It's still hard, and it's only been
Mm,
a day, but
mm.
um, Declan took it a little bit better than I expected.
Yep,
He's of course
yep.
sad and cried a little bit as soon as I told him, and then kinda straightened up a little bit, and it was so sweet because he's like, "But now we don't have a cat." Like, "I know, buddy, it's gonna be a minute before we get another cat, but, it's gonna
Yeah.
be okay." And we held a little funeral for him in the backyard and buried him, and it was very sweet, for him to be a part of it. He tried to like help dig the hole, and then at one point I caught him off to the side just praying silently by himself, and I was like, oh, it just melted my heart that I was like, this kid,
Yeah.
it's just so cool. um
Mhm. Mm.
so we'll see how today goes as we move on, because I'm still melty from it, grieving. Obviously, you wake up and you expect a pet to greet you when you first wake up.
Yeah. Yep.
He's
It's
just
so strange. It's so strange. Even just, yeah, just the things you often take for granted, or just a part of your normal day, which once they're not there, it feels like such a big hole, or it can do for
yeah.
a while. Mm,
Well,
yeah.
we figured, this would be a good topic to bring into figuring out some self-care, because you know what? My mind is not even there today. I have a full plate.
Mm,
So I'm actually
mhm.
quite grateful, Linda, that we get to take a moment to talk about this and maybe help me figure out a way to make sure I put in some self-care today. And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Let's just backtrack a little bit for listeners in some of your, I say, previous life.
Oh gosh.
If you're open and happy to
Yeah,
talk
prior to
about it,
becoming a mother.
yeah.
This whole other life I lived of being a licensed funeral director, undertaker, if you will.
Mm, mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like? I feel like there's nothing that can really prepare you for grief, whether
No.
it's a pet passing, or a human, or whether it's grieving for something that you thought was going to be different, or whether it's grieving for your old life
Mm.
previous to becoming a mother, or
Oh god.
for
Mm.
the fact that grieving for the fact that you don't get any time alone anymore, or that you don't get to go to, maybe your self-care plans get cancelled last minute. There's a
Mhm.
little bit of grief that happens there too. Like there's
Yeah, grief can happen
just
for any disappointment pretty much.
mhm,
Yeah.
yeah, and just because it's whether it's big or small, or, all the bits in between, I think it's still important to recognize that there's so many different emotions that get swept into that.
Yeah. And I think that's also why, we do the highs and lows,
Mhm.
especially for each
Mm.
episode for us. Like, it's just to give that moment to something that we had that wasn't great or we had a disappointment in. And because we want to at
Mm.
least acknowledge that does come with a little bit of grief.
Yeah. Yep, it really does. And I don't think you can fully prepare yourself for, and I don't think any amount of self-care really means that you should just get over it and move on,
Yeah.
because as I know, grief comes in waves, and you often need support through all of those in different ways. And sometimes you have to lower your expectations of self-care, or just of
Mhm.
yourself through that time as well.
Yeah. So what is it? It's giving yourself grace. That's something
Mhm.
that we've both had to learn over the last few years.
Mm.
And we have a
Mhm.
friend who that's her like catchphrase. I'll call her
Mhm.
tagline is, you know, really do give yourself grace in these times of being
Mm.
melty. And that's the other part of it is, guarding our melty, which is another phrase that we're living by as well in this world of everything motherhood and stuff, is really just guarding your melty. Because I think you're right, we can't prepare ourselves for the grief. We can guard our melty, which is
Mm.
part of grief, is just putting up
Mhm.
the boundaries we need to, so we can give ourselves the grace to feel
Mm.
these emotions when they come, set up our days so that you're not doing something like I'm going to do and have a completely packed out day today, and I can sit and
You're trying to distract yourself.
allow things to come, those waves.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
It's a balance, though. I think you can sit with it and really feel into it a lot, listening to your body and what's happening and all of the feelings that are coming up. But I think sometimes sitting in it too much isn't that helpful either. And sometimes distraction is a really good coping strategy as well. So
Yeah.
sometimes distraction does actually help you in different moments of different space and time.
Yeah. And we just have to be careful not to get caught up in the distraction, that we don't ever give
Mm.
ourselves that
Running away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Um,
know.
so what I did yesterday. Yesterday was a full day of just distraction.
Mhm.
And it was in part due to myself, but
Yep.
also in part due to others in my life who didn't give me where I couldn't practice boundaries.
Mm. Mhm. Mhm.
So I had boundaries in place, and other things ended up really making me take, um, not commit to those boundaries yesterday. So it was,
Mm. Mhm.
there was distraction, a lot of it,
Yeah.
which I think can then displace our grief
Mm.
and
Mhm.
make it then, like I was saying before, like we have to be careful not to do too much distraction where we never give ourselves the moment to go through the grieving process, no matter how
Mm.
big or small or long or deep that is going to be for the particular thing. But if we just
Mhm.
skip it all together, are we really doing ourselves the service of feeling and getting past it, where we can
Mm.
grow with that experience then and
Yeah.
heal from
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. I think a big part of my self-care through grief is actually spending time with others as well. So spending time with others who understand or support, or also mothers as well, or have had a similar experience. So that spending time with others is actually a big part of my self-care when going through grief,
Mm.
and making sure that they're not taken for granted. Because it's sort of hard, because I think well-meaning people might say, oh, just reach out if you need me, or
Yeah.
they may believe that you will contact them if you need to, but in my experience, you often don't contact them because you don't want to be a burden, or you don't. It just can be, maybe it can be really hard to pick up the phone or remember to send a message or just have the bandwidth to send a message. So I think then you need to try and find some people that are willing to say, hey, how are you going? And take that initiative and first step rather than just saying, yeah, I'm here if you need me. Contact
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
It's up to you. Like, it's a proactive sort of thing that does help me a lot, because when you're in survival mode, perhaps because of grief or a similar situation, you're not as inclined to, I think, pick up the phone.
Sure. I think we avoid those kinds of things.
Mm.
One, it makes us feel obligated to talk about it, and we may not always be ready to talk, but we might be in the state where we just need to be in someone else's presence.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's, that's
Just
hard to call on someone to do.
Yeah.
Like, especially, like I got messages yesterday from like my pastor. She reached out after church. And she's like, what is it that I can do for you? And I'm just like, you can't do anything for me right now. Like, I have no idea. I
don't know. Yeah.
I can't think about what someone else could offer me in this space. I mean, so what is it? Is it just a hug? Which I desperately need a hug, like from someone who knows or cares, like, and wants to comfort me. That's what I figured out last night. I'm like, I just need a hug. I need someone to hold me. I realized that I've been attending to everyone else's needs, and who's attending to my needs. And we just did a podcast episode about that. And when we're given that opportunity to lean on someone else, it's hard to be like open and not so reserved because we think we can handle it all, because that's what we have to do in that instance, especially as a mom. I think we become so much into that role of, we take care of everyone else. It's hard to let go and let someone else take care of us. And to just tell my pastor that I'm like, I don't know, can you come over and give me a hug and hold me for a moment? Like, I don't know, that'd be a little weird.
Yeah.
Like, I think I need to call my mom instead.
It's interesting because I was actually speaking to my friend Jodie about this as well, and the emotional support that we need sometimes. And when you're running solo or single, how much you don't have that, as much of that emotional support of a partner or that sort of thing. And not, like I said, I don't want to lean on my kids for all of that emotional support. She's like, well, how else can you get it? Is it Jill? Is it friends? Is it your parents, your sister? Like, all of those people are there, but it's different when you've got someone there more regularly, like Bobby might be for you, or like, So, but even just like you were saying, just being in someone else's company and having someone else's energy around you can be enough sometimes. That's without needing to unpack it and talk about it and podcast episode about it and everything else. Like, it's a hard thing to balance sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do hope that you can still fit in a little bit of self-care time and look after yourself today, even with all the distractions.
Yes,
And
that is the plan.
This podcast episode is at least the beginning of some of that.
Yeah. And I have my popsicle sticks with all my self-care things on it, but I will be making sure I spend some time doing, my core things. Yesterday was a lot of scripture, and I, just tried to to go back there between church and my devotionals and just then this morning as well. But that I'll have to get some grounding time in, which today's a moving day for my parents at the campsite. So at least
Okay.
be in nature for a forced amount of time.
Yeah. Even if it is a little bit stressful for a second.
You know, that stacking that we do with our self-care work. And I find the joy in these moments, and it will be in nature. So I will try and take advantage of it, even if it is doing some manual labor. But yeah, I just have to make sure my mindset is shifted to appreciate those things that I get to do today, and just keep being grateful for the experience of my pet in my life. And sometimes in those moments of grief, we can shift our mindsets to just be grateful for the experience that we had and not dwell on the loss all the time.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I am here for you.
Thank you so much. As always, these conversations always bring a little bit of relief and self-care into my mornings. So thank you, Linda. And I hope listening helps for you, listener, to know you're not alone in grief, and that there's ways to find some joy in things when they are hard. And find a moment for self-care.
Exactly. So, Jill, until next week.
We hope you can unstuck your muck.
Bye.
Bye.